Yeah, welcome to the 32nd installment of Taittareeya Upanishad. So the 31 previous recordings are available in Clubhouse, or you can go to Advaita Retold channel, which I'll paste in the chat. So when the session is on, we'll have the hand raising and chat closed, and opened back again after Binduji's presentation. So again, welcome up everyone. Over to Binduji.
Yeah, it was requested last time, so I just thought I'd add this at the beginning of this recording for folks, just to clarify on the documents that are shared. So the volume with, in English, the commentary of Shankara that's in the chat, we didn't start sharing that until we came to chapter 2. And the reason for that was just because the commentary from Shankara is more extensive. We knew that Binduji would be going more slowly, bringing forth his teaching, and that it could be helpful to people to read those commentaries ahead and those mantras ahead so they could really take everything in. But in no sense are we really, in any sense, like following that as a text. It's a real resource. And so if you want to use that, it could be helpful. And we start at page 301 in the page numbering that's in the book itself. And reading forward. Now, right now we're in the realm of about page 359 to 386 in my view. But although we might be on a certain mantra, a lot of the material around bliss and fear conceptually may not just be in one location. So although you might go to roughly page 359 to 386 right now today, I would say more it's not as exact as that, since it's not as if we're following that text. And then similarly, on the mantra document that's up above, you could go to approximately page 15 for sure and read those mantras. So there had been asked for a little bit of guidance on that. I just say one last thing. When I first started looking, say, at the documents that Binduji makes back with Mandukya, as someone who's not familiar with seeing Sanskrit or how things are laid out, I was quite confused. I'll say that. There's the numbering there for the mantras and the karakas, and it's confusing for some of us. And do note that in the case here at hand, where Binduji is calling this chapter 2, the book is calling it part 2. Those are the same things. There's not an error at all. It's just a difference in the convention of what we're calling the parts of the document. So if you weren't already confused, I hope I've added to that confusion. I tried not to. Anyway, just following up on that request. Thank you so much, Binduji. Really, really very much looking forward to the class.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Artemisia. Welcome all for the 32nd edition of the Taittareeya Upanishad. We are in the Brahmananda Valley, part 2 or chapter 2. And we are on the 7th subsection or the 7th Anuvaka, which is starting with Asad Brahmeri. Iti. Asanne Vasava Bhavati. Iti. That is where we are now. And we will be doing the usual chanti mantras and before we start the class. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravashi Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The Shanti Mantram of the Upanishad, part 2. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. असद्वा इदमग्र आसीत् ततो वै सजजायता तदात्मन स्वयम् अकुरुतः तस्मात् सुकृतम् उच्यते इति. यद्वै तत् सुकृतम् रसो वै सः रसं हि एव अयम् लब्ध्वा आनन्दी भवति को हि अन्य का प्राण्यात्. यदेष आकाश आनन्दो न स्यात् एष हि एव आनन्दयाति. यदा ह्येष एतस्मिन् अदृश्ये अनात्म्ये अनिरुक्ते अनिलयने अभयं प्रतिष्ठां विन्दते अतसो अभयं गतो भवति. यदा हि एव एष एतस्मिन् उदरमन्तरं कुरुते अध तस्य भयं भवति. तत्त्वेव भयं विदुषो अमन्वानस्य तदप्येष श्लोको भवति इति सप्तम अनुवाक. This is the seventh anuvaka. So we are now into the concluding part of almost the seventh anuvaka, where it says that yada hi eva esha etasmin adrisye anatme anirukte anilayane abhayam pratishtam vindade ada saha abhayam gata bhavati gataha bhavati. Yada hi eva esha etasmin udaram kurute ata tasya bhayam bhavati. That is these are the places where we are now going to be, because we have completed the Ananda Yati, how the Ananda has been defined and understood. So just to recap from where this yat yadi yesha akashe parame vyomni guhayam nihita anandaha na syad na bhavet kaha hi eva yesh loke anyat apana cheshtam kuryat ityartaha kaha pranyat prananam va kuryat tasmat asti brahma yadartaha karya karana pranadi cheshta tat krita eva cha ananda lokasya, which is indirectly saying that, or directly saying that, this prana cheshta or the pranapana or the breathing and the other five, the five pranas which are working in the body, when akashe parame vyomni guhayam nihita, one who finds that in the guhayam, in the heart center, or in the antakarana, nihita means hidden, anando na syad na bhavet, if one who doesn't find the happiness within himself or in the heart center, ko hi eva loke anyat apana cheshtam kuryaditeya, why should he do this apana cheshta, means pranapana cheshta, the breathing and the living in this world, if he is not able to see the happiness within himself? Kaha pranyat prananam kuryat, why should he do the prana cheshta or the maintenance of the body? Tasmad asti brahma, tad brahma. Therefore, there is the proof that these activities are being continued by the body. Pranapanadi cheshta. Cheshta means the life activity. Yadartaha karya karana pranadi cheshta. That means pranapanadi cheshta. Due to karya karana pranadi, by the cause and effect of the body, which is that tatkrita eva cha ananda lokasya. In the world, we are having the happiness as cause and effect. That is also a ananda of nothing other than the Brahma itself. But we are not able to identify that is the ananda, because there are ups and downs in it, likes and dislikes it, happiness and sorrow in it. All these are correlated due to something which is other than Brahma. But what is that? Bhayam is due to the fear. And what is due to the fear? Here we have to understand that the fear which we are familiar with is to the fear of unknown. The knowledge of not having the right knowledge is what is called as the unknown. And this unknown is due to a defect in the instruments we are thinking that is where the knowledge takes place. This limitation in knowing is due to the limitation of the dependencies of sense organ and the knowledge, instruments of knowledge like the mind and the intellect. We think the mind is limited because we relate it only to the knowledge what is there in the realm of the mind, which is being brought by the sense organs and memories. And the intellect analyzes only what is there in the memory and what is being fed by the mind as intellect, for the intellect to analyze. So the whole thing is now being regulated by the physicality, shariram, or the body and the sense organs and the limitation of the body felt in the mind. Because we feel we are limited by the body. Therefore, the limitation is now imposed or superimposed on the mind, which is not really limited by the body. But we feel that the mind is inside the body and the intellect is inside the body. The andakarana, the term also is felt as limited by the karana, means instruments of the body. Now, to have the emancipation or release or what you call mukti, mochanam or mukti is from the word much means freedom. So the freedom and bhayam are interconnected. If you have bhayam or if you have fear, bhayam means fear. If you have bhayam or if you have fear, then you are not free. You are limited by the amount or the extent up to which the fear is limiting you. To that extent only you have the freedom. We are not ever knowing the ultimate freedom or the mukti avastha or the state of freedom due to this fear. We are thinking that limitation of the body due to the fear of the attachment to the body. So anything happening to the body is a cause of fear to us. Same way, anything happening to the ego, which is also related to the mind and the intellect, association with the limitation of the body, that I am so and so, I have a birth, I am going to die. All those fears are limiting us, and therefore we are not enjoying the freedom of our true nature, because Atma is Ananta. Atma or Brahma is Ananta or infinite in nature. And if we are not known as we are the Atma, we are the self in the body, but if we are knowing that we are limited by the body, then we are not enjoying the freedom also. And fear takes over us. To make us understand this aspect of fear and the dependency of the fear, the Upanishad is taking us to the next level. Kutaha esha hi eva para atma anandayati sukhayati lokam dharma anurupam. Kutaha, where are we now experiencing this ananda? Atma, para atma. This is where anandayati or sukhayati. Ananda is the one which is giving us the happiness. But in the loke, we are not able to see the ananda because dharmanurupam. Dharmanurupam means as the instrument, so is the happiness and sorrow. Because we are identifying with the instrument. Therefore, the happiness and sorrow or the limitations which we are feeling is all based on dharmanurupam. Dharma means the nature of the instruments here, not the duties and rights or the dharma, not that dharma here. Dharmanurupam. In one of the earlier section, we know that prani karma vashad. The karma is the reason why pranis means living beings are enjoying the life due to the various instruments through which it is identifying. So karma is the one which is controlling the dharma and the dharma phala, karma phala. Sad vastu ashrayena hi abhayam bhavati. So that is the one where we have to reach. That sad vastu. What is the reality? Sat means here that which doesn't undergo any change. Yadna vyapicharati. That ashraya, unless we take that ashraya, we will not know abhayam. For that, how do we reach there? Na asad vastu ashrayena bhaya nivritti upapadyate. If we are depending upon ashraya for bhaya nivritti, if it is asad vastu, here the asad vastu is showing what is the names and forms. How can it give rise to bhaya nivritti? Kadam abhaya hedutvam iti uchyate. No, 1 minute. So here I'm going the change in the line. Okay. Sukho bhavati. Sa eva atma ananda rupo avidyaya parichinnaha vibadyate pranibhihi ityartaha. So dharmanurupam, how it is being explained, sorry for that mistake. I skipped one line. Evam atma ananda rupaha, even though this atma is ananda rupaha, is of the nature of ananda, or it is the nature or the swarupa of ananda, the nature atma, avidyaya, due to misapprehension, non-apprehension of atma, that we do not know we are the atma, we think we are limited by the body, mind and intellect complex. Therefore, non-apprehension of atma leads to misapprehension, which is our identification with our physicality of the body, the body-mind complex. That is what is called the avidya here. Therefore, parichinnaha iti vibhavyate pranibhihi ityartaha. Therefore, the pranihi, prananam, prana yasinna asti iti prani, where the pranana kriya is taking place. Prana, apana, samana, vyana, udana. All the 5 pranas are happening in the prana. Therefore, we think that we are limited by the prana, and therefore, parichinna vibhavyate. Vibhavyate means we assume that we are limited by the pranana kriya, wherever it is happening. Vaya abhaya hedutva vidvad aviddusho asti tad brahma. In an earlier occasion, it was asked, if that is common to, if Brahma is common or Atma is common to both the Vidwan and Avidwan, both the knower of Brahman and the Ajnani, the Jnani and Ajnani, what is the difference between them was the question which was asked. Acharya is answering that here. Bhaya abhaya hedutva evam vidwan vidvat avidushoho asti. The difference between the Vidwan and Avidwan, or the Jnani and Ajnani, is only due to the Bhaya Abhaya Hedutva. The cause, Hedutva means the nature of causation for Bhayam and Abhayam, means fear and fearlessness. Sadvatva asrayena hi abhayam bhavati. Only if the dependency is on the Sadvastu, which is the Atma, only then we have the abhayam or the fearlessness. That is the case of the Vidwan or the Jnani. The Jnani is not associating with his body. He has understood the reality that he is not the body, he is not the body-mind complex, and therefore he is depending upon the Sadvastu, which is the Atma, the consciousness, the reality within which we are calling ourselves as Atma. Na asadvattu ashrayena bhaya nivritti utpadyate. So, when you are depending upon the Sadvastu, the Atma, then you are the abhayam bhavati. You are in the state of fearlessness. If you are not depending upon the abhayavastu, then bhaya nivritti upapadyate. How can there be bhaya nivritti? Kadam abhaya hedutvam iti uchyate sati. If that is the question, uchyate, yada hi eva yasmat esha sadakaha asmin brahmani. Sadakaha, one who is now trying to understand Atma, one who does Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, he is called as sadhaka. In this Brahmani, if he is not able to identify himself in this Brahman, etasmin Brahmani, kim vishishte, what are the definitions or the vaishishtyam or the specifics or the definition of Brahma here in this one, in which way we can get? Adrishye. Adrishye means drishyam nama drishtavyam vikaraha. Drishtavyam vikaraha. The modification which is seen in the nama rupa, that is vikaraha. And one who does not see the nama rupa vikaraha as separate from the one source from where this nama vikara is appearing, that is adrishye, means Brahmani. So Brahman is in the asadva idamagra asi. That asadva, avyagrita, that is the adrishya. Darshanartha tva vikarasya. So vikara is darshanat. Is in the vikara there is a darshanam. The nama rupa is a vikara, and we see that nama rupa as Vikara is the Namarupa as multiplication or the multitude. One who doesn't, na drishyam adrishyam. One who doesn't see that the substratum where the dependency of the Namarupa, which cannot be seen in the Namarupa, one who goes by the names and forms is not able to see the substratum or the adrishyam Atma or the Brahma Rupam. It is like that one who sees the painting is not able to see the substratum of the canvas. He will be able to see only the painting. Even though he knows that the painting is on a canvas which is the substratum and the painting, the Nama Rupa or the whatever the description of the painting, that is not visible in the canvas. But without the canvas, the painting cannot sustain or describe or show the painting, the descriptions of the painting. But one who knows that the painting is only the colors and therefore the names and forms as a vikara on the substratum of the canvas which doesn't have a painting. That is what is called adrishyam. That is why which is not visible, its nama rupa is not visible in the Atma or Brahman. Avikaraha ityartha, where there is no multitude in it. Vikaraha means multitude or different formations. Ityartha. Edasmin adrisye means avikare. Avishaya bhute means there is no way in which that description can be seen in the Brahman. Avishaya bhute. Therefore, anatme means asharire. So, avikare, adrisye means avikare, avikare means anatme, means asharire. Ahankaram and mamakaram is the reason why the sharira, we see that aham and mama, the world of objects as mine and I am as the aham is in the sharira. But one who sees that I am not the body as asharire. So anatme, avikare and anas adrisye mean asharire. Ismad adrishyam tasmad anatmyam. One who do not see the adrishyata or the nature of the substratum, he sees the substratum in which the Atma is operating or appears to be operating, or the dependency of the Sharira. Either you can see that Atma is residing in the Sharira, or the Sharira is depending upon the Atma for its own exhibition. Where does the Atma substract or the substratum of the Atma or the substratum Atma can be seen? It can be seen only in the Sharira. But Sharira is not Atma. See, it's a catch-22 type of a situation. If you are seeing the Sharira, you are not seeing the Atma. But if you are seeing the Atma, you are not identifying with the Sharira. So, Anatme means one who has no identification with the Sharira. It means he is adrishyam. He is saying the adrishyam. Adrishyam, what cannot be seen, he is being seen by him as not dependent on the body, but the body is dependent on that, like the painting and the canvas. Yasmat anatmyam tasmat aniruktam. Where there is no atmyam or shariram, therefore aniruktam. Niruktam means definition. Vishaya hi niruchyate. The descriptions of the body tall, short, fat, lean, white, black, man, woman, or type of other bodily associations is what is called niruktam or vishesha. One who is identifying with the anatmyam, not with the body, but the body's, the atma for which the body is capable of operating. Therefore, tasmad aniruktam. He doesn't need definitions to know the atma. He is seeing the atma undefined, which is the one, pravibhaktam, avibhaktam, the one which is that in the beginning which we defined it. Visheshashta vikaraha. Vikara, the multitude in the world of objects which the body is depending upon, because the body cannot operate without the world. Therefore, the vikaraha, the multitude of the world, and the body included in the world, there that is all vishayaha, visheshaha, the definitions with which the vikaras are beginning. Therefore, avikaram cha brahma. So, therefore, the one which is the whole world of vikara, the multitude is depending upon, or the world of multitude in which it is appearing, like the canvas and the painting, or the water and the multitude, or the gold and the ornaments and the mud and the vikaras, all those things is in the vikara. Avikaram cha brahma. So the one which is the substratum for all these things is avikaram, is without any modification. That is Brahma. The mud without modification is the lump of mud from which the multitude of the mud ornaments or mud things are coming up, or the gold and the ornaments, the water and the multitude of the water. Sarva vikara hedutvad. That hetu means causation or the karanam, or for the reason for the sarva vikara. All the modification is depending upon an avikara vastu, a vastu which doesn't undergo through the modification. The gold doesn't go through the modification even when it became all the ornaments. The lump of mud did not go through any modification even when it became pot and the doll and the lamp, etc. Same way, the water has not undergone any modification even when it is appearing as the waves, the bubbles, the froth and the cloud, the river, the water, everything. Water is still the water only. Therefore, sarva vikara hedutvad tasmad aniruktam. There is no definition in the substratum. But the nama rupa, which is got the vikara, has all the definition. Yataha evam tasmad anilayanam nilayanam needam ashrayaha. That is the ashraya means the substratum. Nida means ashraya. Therefore, for all those things, therefore there is anilayanam. Means there is the substratum. Na nilayanam, anilayanam. Na adaram, tasmin. There is not even the term substratum is applicable to Brahma, because the substratum and the substrate and the substratum are two different things. The paints are different from the canvas. Then froth, the bubble, the waves, etc. appears to be different from the water. The ornaments appears to be different from the gold, even though their dependency is there. The definitions of the gold ornaments is the vikara. But in gold, there is no vikara. Therefore, vikara also we cannot say the gold is the cause for the ornaments. Therefore, it becomes anilayanam, means without any dependency for the ornaments. the gold is not the cause for the ornaments. The water is not the cause for the froth and the bubbles and the waves, etc. They are water only. But the moment we have the names like the wave, the froth, the bubbles, etc., we call that water is the substratum, waves and the appearance. Waves are the appearance, etc. are the appearance. Here, even that is being denied because they are all inside Brahma. Therefore, they cannot be separated out even as appearances. They are indeed Brahman only. Therefore, anilayanam means there is no substratum also for them. It cannot be called even as a substratum. Anadharam, tasmin, in which one? Edasmin, adrishye, anatme, anirukte, anilayane. This is exactly how the Upanishad has defined it. There is adrishye, there is no way you can see it. Anatme, there is no atmya or no sharira with which you can identify it. Anirukte, there is no way you can define it. Anilayane, it is not even a substratum because it is not separate from it. Sarva karya dharma vilakshanaha. That means sarva means all sorts of ideation, notions which we bring it in our ways of explaining Brahma as karya dharma, as the effects of some causation. Dharma, Brahma is a karanam, the world is the karya. There is no way in which it can. Vilakshanaha, there is no way we can separate them out. Brahmani iti vakyartaha. So in the Brahman or Brahman, we cannot bring any sort of separation. Why this is important? Because if we want to know abhayam, fearlessness, we should know that there is no way we can bring any sort of separation in Brahman. Abhayam iti kriya visheshanam. Kriya visheshanam. It is actually as a kriya visheshanam means adjective. Abhayam iti adjective. It is an adjective. Fearlessness is an adjective of when you are fearing something. Fearing is a verb. Fearlessness is an adjective. Abhayam iti va abhayam iti linganandaram parinamyate. Here the Acharya is using a bit of Sanskrit saying abhayam in the female gender because pratishta is the establishment. That is a feminine gender word. So the abhayam can be also used as abhayam because of the pratishta word is being used by the Upanishad. Sthitim atmabhavam vindade labhade. Now, here is the catch. Pratishtam vindade is the word used in the Upanishad. What does it mean? Sthitim atmabhavam, that one's own abidance to its own true nature as a state of fearlessness to ward off all sorts of fear happening. Therefore, it is an attainment, vindade or labade. We are attaining that state of fearlessness as an action when we de-identify anatme, when we are not identifying with our Sharira. Therefore, Atma Bhavam Sthiti. Atma Bhavam is a state, not a result of an action. It is always the state of our true nature. We are always in a state of fearlessness and happiness or freedom. Whatever may be the names which we want to use that. Shantim, Amritam, Abhayam, all that type of words which we have used for Atma is a status, not a spot or a state which we achieve. This is very familiar with us. We are not achieving our state of deep sleep as an effort. But when all the efforts of waking and dream, when we end it, we remain in a state of deep sleep. That is not an achievement by an act of waking or dream. That is the Atma Bhavam here we are talking about. That is the Pratishtha. Pratishtha means sthiti or the status. Atha tada saha tasmin नानात्वस्य भयहेतोः अविद्याकृतस्य अदर्शनात् अभयं गतो भवति. Atha, therefore, when that is happening, tada, then saha, one who has now Atma Bhavam Sthitva, means having established in his own true nature. Tasmin Nanatvasya Bhayahetoho, Nanatvasya, the nature of multitude, which is the Bhayahetu. That is the cause of fear. And how does it happen? Avidya Kritasya. It is a after effect of ignorance, because we think that we are the individual along with the multitude of the world with the names and forms. I am also a product inside the world which is the name and form and associating with the Sharira. This is all created by the avidya or the ignorance, not knowing that our Atma Bhavam is abhayam, is fearlessness, is our state, our nature. Therefore, adarsanat, one who sees that not as our true nature, abhayam gato bhavati. Then one who sees that as our true nature, not what we think as our true sharira with the association of the body, such a person, abhayam gato bhavati, means abhayam prapyati. He reaches or he associates himself with the state of fearlessness or freedom. Sorupa pratishtaha. He asau yada bhavati tada na anyat pasyati anyat shrunoti anyat vijanati. Sorupa pratishtaha. That state of associating or identifying with Swarupa or one's own nature. He asau, only then, yada bhavati, when it is happens, when this takes place, that I am not the body, then only that state of I am that fearless freedom, ananda, all those things is my true nature. I am denouncing all the notions which henceforth I was holding on to due to avidya. When I abandon that, I am Swarupa Pradishta. I am getting established in the Swarupa. And that is the time when na anyat pashyati. All the multitude which were there due to the avidya, which I was associating myself with the sharira, I am a limited body and the mind and internal complex. The world is with the names of multitude, vikaraha. That is all gone when I am establishing myself in the Swarupa Pratishtha. When I am the Brahman, everything is Brahman or everything is Atma. Yatrana anyat pashyati. That anyat pashyati, that is the state which we studied in the Chandogya Upanishad, where Narada and Sanat Kumara Sambhada, which we heard that. I don't see anything other than myself. Anyat shrunoti. I don't hear any names. Not only I am not seeing any rupa. Anyat pashyati means anya rupam na pashyati. I don't see any other forms. I do not have the multitudes of the names and forms. Anya shrunoti, I do not hear any names and forms. The names are not being heard as multitude names. The Visheshana or the Nirukta, then definitions of the names and the forms are that Anyad Vijanadi, when there is no names and forms, multitude names and forms. Anyad Vijanadi, I do not see anything other than that Atma Bhava. The multitude is not there for me to know. So the names have gone, the forms have gone. Therefore, the names and forms and knowing as multitude also has gone. Then I am told to be in a state of Swarupa Pratishta, Bhavati. Anyasya hya anyando bhayam bhavati. Na atmanah evam atmano bhayam yuktam. Anyasya anyaho bhayam bhavati. When there is otherness, then I can be having fear. If there is no na atmana eva atmano bhayam yuktam, I cannot be afraid of myself. How can I ever be afraid of myself? Tasmat atmaiva atmanaha abhaya karanam. Atmaiva atmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. When you are atmaiva atmana bandhu, when you become your own friend, when you know that you are yourself or you do not see anybody other than yourself, you become your own friend. But if you are in the clutches of avidya, where the anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati, if you are seeing a multitude, if you are seeing the world as names and forms, and then you are knowing that multitude, then that becomes the case for the fear. If you don't have the anyatvam, then Atma becomes the abhaya karanam. Then you becomes the reason for the fearlessness, because you don't have anything other than you. Sarvada hi nirbhayaha brahmanaha drishyante. Sarvada hi nirbhayaha. They see the fearlessness always, sarvada, in everything. Drishyante. Satsu bhaya hedushu. Even though satsu no satisu, sati, sattami. Satsu bhaya hedushu satsu. These causes of fear are there in the world in the names and forms, but he doesn't see them as anya, as other than himself. They are there. The names and forms are there. The world is there. The world is being operated upon by the vidushu, one who is a jnani or vijnana. that one who Brahmanaha Samadarshinaha, one who sees the Samadarshitva as himself in everything. Therefore, Tat Yuktamasti Bayatrane Brahmani. Therefore, the Bayatranam means the freedom from Baya, freedom from fear can happen only when you see yourself in everything. Atmaiva Bandhu Atmana or Sarvatra Samadarshinaha. You heard that. Tasmat Tesham Abhaya Darshanat Asti Tad Abhaya Karanam Brahmeti. Therefore, Brahma is the Abhaya Karanam. He is the cause for Abhaya, fearlessness and freedom. Your mukti. Everything is depending upon Abhaya Karanam Brahma iti. Kada asau abhayam gado bhavati satakaha. When does the abhayam gado bhavati, when does he become the fearless state? The satakaha, one who does the shravana manana nididhyasana. Yada anyat na anyat pashyati atmani cha andaram abhayam na kurute. When he doesn't find udaram, andaram means andaram. Udaram andaram. Uda means api. Andaram aram. Aram means alpam. Separation. One who do not see any separation. Tada abhayam gado bhavati ityabhipraya. If he has no separation feeling, he feels everything is himself. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati. Then he abhayam gado bhavati. Yada punaha avidyavastayam hi yasmad yeshaha avidyavan avidyaya pratyupastapitam vastu taimiriga dvidiya chandravat pashyati atmani cha etasmin brahmani uta api aram alpamapi andaram chidram bhavet veda darshanam kurutehe veda darshanam eva hi bhayakaranam. So here Acharya says, yada, when punar avidyavastayam, before the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, in the avidyavastha, in the state of ignorance, he yasmad, in that state, yeshaha avidyavan, one who is in the state of avidya or in the state avidyavan, one who is saying, pratyupastapitam, is established in the avidya. How? Vastu taimiriga dvidiya chandravat pashyati atmani. In the Atman itself, see, when we have a cataract, we see things in the duplicate. That is what is called Taimirika Chandra. You see the moon as two. Actually, there is only one moon. The same one moon is seen as two. Like the ways, when we are in the avidya or ignorance, we Atma or Brahman as not only as Atman, but as the world of objects. If it is seen as separate from Brahman, then you are seeing separation in Atma or Brahman. And then you have this Andaram. Andaram means separation. Chidram. Veda Darshanam Gurute. There is this separation and there Veda Darshanam eva hi Bhayakaranam. If you think there is this separation in Atma, even within our own body, the body becomes a cause for us, for our fear. That the body will wither away one day. It will become old. It will die one day. That fear, even to our own body. Udaram andaram means alpamabi andaram, separation. Even if we find our body as separate from us, we will say initially that we are not the body and Atma. Once having reached the Atma, we will realize that this body is nothing but Atma only. So how can we have a separation of the body? But we are not the body. We are the Atma is the method in which we reach Atma. And after having understood Pratishtam Vindate, once we get established in Atma, yatra na anyat pasyati anyat srunodi anyat vinodi, then Atma is the one which is the body also, the world also. Everything is Atma only. Then we don't have the fear. Then we are not afraid of the body getting withered away, or body is dying, or body is getting disease, or body is amputated, body is going through operation, body is going through sickness, aging. We are not worried about that, because that vikara, what is the changes which is happening in the body, is changes happening within the body, because the Atma is the body. Alpamadi Bevam Pashyati Tirtha. When we are seeing that difference, that the body is going to die, so I am going to die. That is, I am not the Atma. But if I am knowing I am the Atma, and the body is also nothing but Atma only, the body, where can the body go? When the body is going, it is becoming Atma. Because it is Adrishyam, Aniktam, Anilayanam. So we know that it is Adrishyam. The body is becoming Adrishya only. The Adrishyatam is Atma, Brahman. So where can the body go? Therefore, if you have the ignorance, you will think the body is going, and therefore, Bhaya Hetu, Bhaya Karanam. Atha, Tasmat Veda Darshanad Hedoho, Tasya Veda Darshinaha Atmano Bhayam Bhavati. Those who think this separation, they are afraid even to see Atman, that because there is Adarsanam, there is a state of not able to see anything other than that. That is why in the Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada said, Abhaye Bhayadarshinaha. That state of fearlessness is our nature. But there they see Abhayam. In the Abhayam they see the fear. How? Tasmat Atmaiva Atmanoha Bhayakaranam Vidushaha. Karanam Avidushaha. Those who are not understood this Atma Swarupa, Avidushaha means Atmani. They can Atma as a Bhayahetu. Because when I am the Atma, everything is lost. I will lose my body, I will lose my family, I will lose my wealth, I will lose the world, I will lose the whole world. There are people will there be anybody who will be afraid to go to sleep? Yes. Those who are thinking that sleeping is, I am losing everything in the world. The schizophrenic, or people who are afraid of, that delusion. They are scared of even sleeping. Where the abhayam state is there, that state is a state of fear for such people. When we are in delusion, that is when we are in ignorance. Tasmat atmaiva atmanoho bhayahetu avidushaha tadetat aha tat brahmat tvameva bhayam bhayadarshinaha vidushaha ishvaraha anyaha mattaha aham anyaha samsari ityevam avidushaha ityevam vidushaha Veda drishtam ishvarakyam tadeva brahma alpam antaram kuradaha bhayam bhavati ekatvena amannanasya. Amannanasya, one who has no knowledge of this, who is an ignorant, he thinks that Ishvaraha Anyaha Mattaha. The Ishvara is different from me. Aham Anyaha Samsari. I am a samsari. I am limited by the body and I am separate from the Ishvara. Such people will be always in fear because they are andaram kurute. They are making the separation. Tasmat vidwan api avidwan eva asau yo ayam ekasmin ekam abhinnam atmatattvam na pashyati. They are not seeing the atmatattvam of Ishvara and the atmatattvam of the jiva all separate. Therefore, they are always in fear. In Brahman, there is no separate Ishvara, no separate jiva, no separate jagat. They are all in Brahman only. In Brahman, as Brahman. And that is no separation. Therefore, adrisye, anatme, anirukte, anilayane. That means sarva karya dharma vilakshane brahmani. One who sees that, for him, there is no fear. But if you do not see that, then you have the fear and you will be always in the clutch of fear. Uchcheda hedutvam darsanat achyut adyached abhimatatsya bayam bhavati anuchedyoho hi uchchedya hetuhu tatra asatyuchcheda hetoho uchchedyaha na tad darshana karyam vaya yuktam. This uchcheda hedutvam darshana, uchcheda means separation. Abhimatasya, one who do not understand that, bhayam bhavati, because he feels that he is separate. Anuchedyaha hi uchchedya hetuhu. This feeling of separation itself is the hetu for the separation, for the thing. That means that alpamapi andaram kurute. That is the one which is that vaya hetu. Therefore, for such people, there is the bhayam or hetutvam. Sarvam hi jagat abhaya darshanat. Tasmat jagataha bhaya darshanat agamyate nunam tadasti bhaya karanam uchchedya heduhu anuchchedyat atmyam yata jagad vibheti ityartah ityeti. Etasmin natte esha shloko bhavati. So, the state of separation, which is being superimposed on the individual by the individual due to the ignorance, is the cause for the Jiva Jagat Ishvara Veda. That and that is the cause for the fear. And one who knows the Pratishtam Vindate, one who gets established in the Atma Tattva, for him there is no Uchchedya, there is no Viveti, there is no Bhaya, or therefore Jagat Viveti, there is no fear from the world. The world, he sees the world as himself. Tat etasmin apyarthe esha shloko bhavati. This is the meaning of this sloka of the 7th Anuvaka, which has been explained into the 8th Anuvaka. We will be going on the next Wednesday, where there is a gradation from a ordinary individual to the Hiranyagarbha level. There is fear because even Hiranyagarbha is afraid of Atma, because he is still a Prajapati who is wanting the desire of creation, but he is not having the knowledge which a Brahmajnani is having. Therefore, Hiranyagarbha is also having fear, which we will see in the 8th Anuvaka, starting from Vishasmat Vada Pavate. Even the air is afraid of this. What is that? We will see that in the 8th Anuvaka, which we'll see on the next Friday. Sunday we will have the normal discussion room. I'm stopping here. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Thank you so much, Bindaji. This is really exciting to get into this part of the Taittareeya. It's a little odd to say exciting about an Upanishad, but it's just a very fulfilling process, and I'm grateful to be here. The hand raising is open. The chat is back open. Really invite people to come up with their questions related to the class today, especially. And so please come up and join us if you wish. Prakash, did you want to say anything while we wait to see if there are hands?
Yes, Venkaji is coming up. Thank you, Bindoji, again for a very deeply immersive and enlightening session. I would have to say that.
Thank you, Prakash.
Welcome.
Venkat?
Yeah, Hari Om Bindoji. Hari Om. So this is like a full circle, Bindoji. From the point of Pravishya, right? Tadanu Pravishya, Satchat, Satcha, Bhavat, Niruktam Cha, Niruktam Cha, Niranan Cha. That Pravishya is talked about. That is creation entering now Pratishtha. That means getting established in Atma Bhava. And now Bhaya is now taken as a also to do with the exit, because the things you love, the near and dear ones, fear of losing is the highest fear, right? The fear of death is the highest fear of losing. That association has been well told. Even the iota of separation causes fear. That is highly well covered, repeatedly insisted upon. This pravesha, pratishtha, and nirgamana. I put this word nirgamana is not used, but I'm putting nirgamana. That loss, creation, association with the creation, pratishtha, getting established, and nirgamana. Now, all this is Brahman only. Why such a bifurcation from this? The beginning with tadanu pravishya, verse 2, pratishtha, to the nirgamana bhaya. These three to be handled together, or pratishtha is the most important to be uncovered. How do you see these three together, Bindoji?
Okay. See, Upanishad is taking us in, as you said, in a full circle. What happens is that when it started, Brahmavid apnoti param. In the second part or second chapter, when it started with Brahmavid apnoti param. That param is what was first defined by a intended meaning, Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma. Now, when it is being defined, the tendency for all of us is to objectify it. That objectification is so ingrained in us because of our tendencies for the usages of our own instruments of sense organs and the mind, intellect, etc. We cannot think of anything, the moment that name and form comes, even if it is Atma or Brahman, it is objectified by the mind. Never taken it as it is our reality. That is who I am. The Upanishad is talking to myself, or I am the one who is listening. That is not one. We are thinking that Atman or Brahman as something outside by Ishvara or by somebody bigger than that, or the whole cosmos, one who created the cosmos, as an object to which I have to achieve and reach there. This separation of attainability or reaching or effort, these words, when it is being used repeatedly in all the Upanishad, by Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, we have to attain that and everything. We are objectifying Atma and Brahma all the time. Never in those explanation we took effort in putting it as is referring to me, myself. That Swamshikaranam or applicability as is my nature is never coming in the forefront for us. Only when the pulse is touched or the heart is touched or what you call the vulnerability is touched, we will be forced to think about this from our own existential, as an existential crisis. We will think about it. And how are we pushed into that? By the Upanishad, by the term fear. Only thing which we are concerned in the whole world is fear. Bhayam, it is not only for human beings. Ahara nidra bhayamayutunam cha. That is food, sleeping, bhayam, fear, and procreation. All the four are common with animals and human beings. Jnano hi tesham atiko vishesha. The difference between a human being and the rest of the one where they are showing the bhayam, fear. Animals are also having fear from the predators, from its own life. They are also scared of their own life. But an animal cannot know the difference. Why it is getting scared? It is a matter of reflex for the animals. But jnano hi tesham atiko vishesha. Only the knowledge of what is the reality, that is only possible for the human beings. If that is not the human beings are like animals. Jnano hi tesham atiko vishesha. Jnano vihina pashubhir samana. We become like animals because we are controlled by the bhayam, ahara, nidra and progeny. to bring that aspect of fear, which is the only reason why we are not able to de-link ourselves with our body identification. Even though we were told, Yatrana Anyat Pashyati Anyat Srunoti Anyat Vijanati, that you do not see anything other than yourself, where we do not hear anything other than ourselves, where we do not know anything other than ourselves. In the Upanishad, Chandogya, we never thought that we are talking about our own nature, Atma. But here when the Abhayam is possible only if you are establishing yourself in your own true nature. Otherwise, even an iota separation, if you are thinking between Atma and yourself, then you will be scared of Atma. Because you won't be scared of yourself. But when the body is being referred to as Anya, when for the Pradishta purpose, that you are not the body, still we are not able to de-identify ourselves from the body. We are so ingrained in our body identification. To leave the body identification, in spite of learning all these things from the Upanishad, intellectually accepting it, practically we are unable to do the de-identification with the body. To look at our own body as not we is not possible. Only when this knowledge is an established knowledge, pratishtam vindate, we are establishing our true identity as Atma, not as the body. To hammer that and see that we do not move away from the pratishtha or from that established awareness of our true nature, the fear factor is being put back by the Upanishad saying that Udaram antaram gurude atatasya bhayam bhavati. Even if you have an iota of separation, if you bring it from the Atma, then you will be scared. Even if it is your body, then how am I going to operate in this world? That is the time when the Upanishad says that anatme, adrishye, anirukte, anilayane. You have to identify your body not as a body. Your body is also nothing but Atma. But it is not body. Body is a Nama Rupa. So when you remove the Nama Rupa, how will you do it? Yatrana anya pashyati, your body is removed because vikara is removed. Yatrana anya srunoti, the names which you are using for the body and the world is removed. Yatrana anyat vijanati, when you do these two things, there is no vikara, there is no nama. Nama vikara varjitam means you do not know anything other than as Atma. So yatrana anyat pashyati, anyat srunoti, anyat vijanati. Then what is happening? Ekatva manupashyata. You see the oneness, sarvatma bhava, or there is only sarvam khaluidam brahma, or aham brahmasmi. When that happens, then you are abhayam. Abhayam praptosi. You have reached the state of fearlessness, Venkat. You are free. Mukto bhavati. You are a jnani when you are established in this knowledge. There is nothing more you need to be worried about because there is nothing other than you. There is no birth, no death, no loss, no gain. because that is, everything is Atma only. But there is adrishye, anatme, anirukte, anilayane. You cannot know it by the way you know name and form. You cannot know it, you cannot feel it, because it is no vikaras. It has no definitions because it is not separate from you. It is no way, it is a substratum also because there is no substratum because there is no substrate for it. There is only one. Inside the ocean, there are no waves, no bubbles, no nothing. There is only water and water. The more deep you go, the more you are in that where you do not see anything other than water. You are a water. You are a droplet in the ocean. That feeling of oneness with the ocean is the feeling what we should have with the Brahman when we are knowing that Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma.
Yes, Vinodji, this is a very, very profound way it has been navigated into. I think thanks for navigating us here. I'm trying to get some fringes out of this. The fringes are that Brahma Pucha Pratishtha. It is used for every that 5 layers, right from Annamaya to Anandamaya, Brahma Pucha Pratishtha. That source of all this. Now, then from a Tadanu Pravisha. In this one, that even the Anatme, Anirukte, Anilane, Abhayam, that each of this is classified under Vakruta Avyakruta. That means gone into causal, now into manifest form. And while that has been used for Vakruta Avyakruta, then it is again repeatedly used here. Yada hevesha. Etasmin adrushe natme anirukte anilene. The negative connotation, why it is necessary, right? From Pratishtha perspective, why negative connotation necessary? Because it is anyway classified under Vakruta Vyakruta. Just like, that why this way it is described. It was not necessary, right, Binduji?
It is absolutely necessary because if I tell you, can you imagine the space doing a somersault in space? Will you be able to imagine it?
No, Binduji.
It is something similar. When it was told Satya Jnanam Anandam Brahma, we got a Lakshyartha, but we were not knowing what it is. All we know is that it is not, it is not, it is not. It is not Anirtam, it is not Jadam, it is not limited. But what it is, still we are mentally looking for something outside. As Brahman or Atman, as an entity which is outside somewhere in the sky or hanging somewhere, something else. Never we looked into ourselves. So the only way the Upanishad can make us to take us to look inward as our own true nature is through this process. It has to take you first in that route of Pachatyacha Bhavat, Murta Bhava, all those things it took you there. So your extroverted mind went along with it. Then it is doing a somersault and bringing it back to saying that Anikte, Anatme, Aniripte, Anilayane. All those things are somersault of all the things which it took you to outward is now being reversed backward. And in it places you is Abhayam as your freedom or your state where You are, when you are established, where did you somersault? In yourself. That all the process which we told in the beginning was for the extrovert mind to do that. And when it was reversed and everything, where was this activity of somersault going on? In ourselves only. We only extroverted it, and now we are introverting it. That esoteric experience of ours. So it was necessary for the Upanishad to take us for the somersault and make us understand that all those jugglery was within yourself. Where can you see anything other than yourself? When that question was straight away asked, we would not have understood it. We would not have, even though when I know that very well, when I took the Chandogya 7th chapter, Narada and Sanat Kumara, this thing, Vetrana Anya Pasyan Anya Srunoti, I have explained it, I have told it also, but not in this way. This is the beauty of Taittareya's methodology is different from the other thing. Others, in other Upanishad, they talk about it, but they never take you there. So the Taittareya is the one which is hand-holding us and doing us to do the somersault within ourselves. From the extroverted mind to the introverted mind. To see ourselves. That is why it is necessary.
I think, Shurabhandhu, I think this is now opening up. This is very nice, Vinodji. I think this is the way you put it. This bhaya now, getting to the root of this fear. Fear to do with, one getting, in love with one's own creation. Don't want to lose it. One builds the life around himself, accumulates, creates with hard effort, etc. Don't want to let go. The holding on is the fundamental root cause, either the objective world or one's own body, mind, intellect, holding on to it. That causes the highest that fear of loss at all levels, now manifesting as fear, one. And the primal fear inbuilt, one born, that fear is exhibited in a way that, one don't want to, that try to survive even in a storm or, drowning, etc. Many situations. The primal fear kicks in. Does it mean this whole creation is built in Bheda, that is, in separation, duality? Either duality is nature of the design in the way the life created. Is that the way? Hence further, figuring it out, one's own nature, necessary to deal with this fear, which is primal as well derived. That's a fundamental question, Vinodji.
See, the purpose of the Upanishad as well as the methodology is to negate duality. Even if an iota of duality is there in any corner of your mind, you are not established. You should see your body, the world, the body means including the world, as in the two-pronged approach you have to see that. When you are transacting in the world with the Nama Rupa, you should see it as it is the nature of the awareness why it is happening like that. That means it is in Brahman these things are happening. Because Brahman is awareness or consciousness. It is also, you should understand that even if anything happening in the awareness is not going to touch the true nature of Atman or Brahman or my own nature. So here the true nature of Brahman, Atman and my own nature, all the three have to be seen in the same coin or in the same knowledge. The whole issue is that the issue is in the waking, the separation is so predominant in us. Therefore, the answer has to be found in the waking only. Because dream we are able to negate. We are not worried about what happens in the dream. And we do not know what happens in our deep sleep. So we are neither worried about it. Whether we die in the deep sleep, not bothered. Whether we are dying in the dream, at the dream level we are worried, but we know it is a dream, then it is not affecting us. But when it comes to our waking, the fear is so predominant that the answer has to be given in the experience, has to be brought into the waking, and that can be brought in only by knowledge. Because you cannot change the nature of Brahman or Atman, which is projecting the waking. That will happen. But our ignorance with which we see the separation in the waking, as me, myself separate from the world, and not knowing I am the Brahman of the nature, I am the one who projected myself as a waker, and the world of the waking as the objects of the world, as I am the Atman or the Brahman which is projecting these things. That knowledge only can set you free in the waking. No other exercise can set you free. Our freedom, which is hampered due to the fear of reality of the waking, has to be nipped at the bud with the knowledge which will release us from the fear. And how that fear can go? Only when we know that it is the nature of myself to become the waker and the world of objects of the waking. And there is no need for me to be afraid that I will be, put to torture or body will die. I will lose my possessions. I will be losing these things. Are we not losing it every night when we are going to deep sleep? Are we not losing the waker in the waking world when we are into the dream world? We are not getting worried in the dream and the deep sleep. But in the waking, when it is happening, we are worried. So we have to solve it in the waking only through knowledge. Because waking is reality only due to ignorance, seeing that the waker is real, the waking world is real. That is due to ignorance. And the antidote for ignorance is on knowledge, where the knowledge with the logic and our experiences, when we put together, we can say that it is my awareness in which I became the waker and the world of waking as projection. That only can remove that ignorance and the fear of the waking, which will establish us in a state of fearlessness or the state of freedom.
Sure, Mataji. This is well covered. Thank you for clear, very very clear navigation. Just a closure, I think maybe an out of syllabus question I'm asking still. That fear, I feel creation well told all the way. Pratishtha, that Pravesha well told, creation Pravesha well told, Pratishtha well told, Pratishtha highly nicely told, and Bhaya, why the root cause of Bhaya told. This Nirgamana, destruction, any part of the Upanishad are here or somewhere else. Either in Nirgamana also told, if there's a Pravesha, there has to be Nirgamana. Exit or destruction. Is that ever told when the... Yeah. Okay.
how can it be possible for the space to exit space? Can space ever exit space? Can water never ever be non-water? Can gold be ever non-gold? Can mud be ever non-mud? Can you be ever not you? So, the pravesha is only to take you from the extrovertedness to introvertedness. Once you are in the introverted nature, there is no pravesha, no nirgamana, no janma, no mrityu, no birth, no death, no coming, no going. Where can space be removed? Where can Brahman go? Where can Brahman come? If when everything is in Brahman, where can it go outside it? Even the space is inside Brahman. So where will it move outside? So the pravesha and nirgamana is only the hypothesis and the answer to prove that the hypothesis is wrong.
Got it, Manoj. That explains a lot. This whole Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, that Rudra. At least at a projection level, there is certain functions. Maybe somewhere else it is to be looked at. But from here on, I think from Upanishad perspective, the scope is clear. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you, Venkat.
Yeah, thank you, Venkat. Really very, very beneficial what the two of you were discussing for all of us. Just to acknowledge a little bit ago, the hand raising went off. And so we'll resume the classes next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST, and just remind people that that time stays fixed. Adjust accordingly if you're going through a time change, and that on Sunday is the first day of time change for some people, so there may be some confusion in what your Clubhouse calendar tells you. But if you look for IST, say on the internet, we'll be here at 8:30 p.m. IST for a discussion with Bindaji. So please bring your contemplations and so forth that you'd like to discuss for clarity. And thank you so much, Prakash, for your role. Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Let me look again. One person needed to leave, but yeah, there are some newer people. Please feel free to join this house, and know that we always meet on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. IST. And that replays, Prakash has put a link in the chat for finding those on YouTube. As far as the Sunday rooms at this point, I believe they're still only here, so look for the replays here. And I don't think I have any other announcements. Unless you have anything, Prakash, let's let Bindo close.
Yes, nothing to add, Artemisia. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Artemisia, for facilitating this. I don't know how many times we have acknowledged you. So, and Bindoji, as always, is very precious method of discerning Upanishads. So, if you have a chance to do the Sravana Manana and listen to the previous talk, that will be a lot more beneficial when you come the next time. Over to you, Bindoji. Thank you.
Thank you, Atmishya. Thank you, Prakash. And thank you, Venkat. Thank you all for this, those who have been listening. We'll continue our journey through the Upanishad on next Wednesday. Sunday we'll assemble for a discussion room, and we can ask any question, not specifically to the Upanishad. It can be an Advaita or application of Advaita or comparative, any questions which you may think. If it is possible for me to answer, I'll answer. Otherwise, I will take the experts in the panel or in the audience to come up and explain. Otherwise, we'll meet on next Wednesday for the Upanishad. Thank you all once again. Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om.
Good night.